We're live on YouTube, live on Twitch, live on TikTok. Let's get into it. As y'all can see, today I'm going to be working on modeling this face. I'm going to try to finish it today, I think. That's the goal. But before I get into actually modeling, as always, I just want to pull up the music I'm going to be playing today. Feeling like an Element kind of day. Shout out the great Element, the great Ian. If y'all have been on any of my other streams, I'm sure y'all have heard some of his stuff before, but I really like it. It's definitely some of my favorite stuff to play while I stream. So I'm gonna go ahead, bump the Passions album, check my levels. They seem alright, So I think I can go ahead and get modeling. And I, for reference today, am using a mirror. So I'm going to be looking down and making a lot of funny faces while I work on this sculpt. For people who are curious, because I don't think I've ever showed this part before, when you first open ZBrush and you want to get going, you have to hit the comma on the keyboard to get rid of that box up there. That's how you open it and close it. And then you also, so I have this shape I drew, but you can see I'll just keep redrawing it. What you need to do, and your default will just be a sphere, but what you're gonna have to do is draw it and then hit this little edit button up here in the top left corner. And now you're more or less ready to sculpt. I'm also gonna change my base material to, a lot of people like matte cap gray, and you can see that's like a really nice one to check how the render is coming along. I personally, I'm gonna turn this music down a little bit. I think it might be a little bit too loud, overpowering my voice. Matte cap gray is good, but basic material 2 is the one I like to sculpt on because it's like the least forgiving. It's really, really intense lights and shadows, so that just gives you a really good idea of how it's gonna look, you know, at a glance. I'm actually not sure where I want to start today. The unfinished teeth are kind of bothering me, so maybe I'll start with that. I think that'd be good. Go ahead, grab those. And the way I'm doing these is I just have this sort of mouth guard piece, and I'm just carving the teeth out of that. This is going to be a 3D model eventually, so I want everything to be fully together, and I'm kind of thinking about how it's going to print. I could like sculpt every tooth individually, but I think that would be kind of overkill for this project. Like, you're not really going to be able to see these all that much anyways, and you probably wouldn't be looking all that much anyways. So my next teeth are going to be a little bit smaller than those front teeth, I think. So I can just go. Yep, symmetry is on. I'll make my brush a little bit smaller. Tear down that edge a little bit more. It's really wanting to stick together right there. Let's see how much I can hollow it out. And then I'm just using this mirror for reference, using my own face to figure out what this should look like. So the other tooth, the next tooth over, looks like kind of ends in alignment with the nostril. Honestly, way over there. I think that's looking pretty good. Oh, are we losing? Oh, are we dropping frames already? I'm closing everything on my phone. Alright. Welcome if you're just joining in. I'm just doing some sculpting in ZBrush, making this guy scream. Still working fairly low poly, so I can always add some subdivisions if I need to make this a little bit nicer to work with. I can do that. Yeah, and I can kind of start shaping these teeth too, because they're not really perfectly flat like that. So I'm going to grab my move brush. And I have a fully custom setup for my ZBrush, so you're not going to actually see me opening the brush menu, and these teeth are actually all shorter than the middle teeth. So let's see if I can pull those down a little bit. Might pull that over a bit. That's kind of starting to look how I want it. I'm going to go ahead actually and just add a level of subdivisions, make this a little bit easier for me to work with as I keep carving out this tooth. And it really rounds up at the top, so that's kind of going to be my gum line. I can grab my clay brush. Ads already? Ads! The fuck out of here, ads. I don't want to hear it. Alright, and I'm just pushing that gum line out over those teeth a little bit. Enough that there's going to be an edge for them to catch. I'm probably over smoothing too. I could maybe leave some of the roughness from my clay brush, but that's obviously a bit too intense. I'm gonna grab my pinch brush and just pull these together. Do something like that. Just pull those gums in nice and close to the teeth. You can see I kind of pinched the tooth a little bit where I didn't want it. Although, actually, it's actually not looking so bad. I just don't want it to flare out at the end like that. And since I'm doing something that is like horror and scary, if I have things that are, I don't want them to be like poorly placed, but if they're like a little off and like kind of chipped and stuff, I think that'll actually add to the sculpt. And after a certain point, after I get all this stuff into place and kind of like blocked out and shaped right, I'll go back. I think that might be too much teeth up here. Pull that gum line down a little bit with my move tool. I think that would help it out quite a bit. So I can just go ahead and bring that down to about right there. I'll go ahead, keep building up these gums a little bit more too, and kind of evening those out. Yeah, we're starting to get some teeth. We're starting to get some teeth, not too bad. Welcome, iToke Pots. Goodbye, iToke Pots. So I'll go ahead and just keep on going. It looks like I kind of destroyed that gum line a little bit, so I'm gonna come in with a really small damn standard brush and just kind of get some of that back. This is probably gonna be so small when I print it that it doesn't even matter really, but I don't know. I'm considering going in, even though I'm planning on using this as a model for like a toy, I'm kind of thinking about going in and UVing it and painting it anyways, just for fun and for my portfolio. So if I end up doing something like that, then I will want to have everything looking pretty nice so I can get close-up renders. And I honestly could mask out that tooth and pull those gums over. I'm gonna see if I can get away with doing it without a mask. You just want those gums to be sticking out over those teeth. Yeah, like there, I'm grabbing the tooth. So maybe I will mask these out real quick just for a second, and then I can pull it back out over the top. Let me get that. Get all that. Yeah, now I can grab those gums and kind of pull them out over without influencing the tooth itself. Just want to make sure I keep nice like curves on everything. That might be too far. So I might pull them like down and over a little bit. Yeah, now it really looks like that tooth is going up in there. And while I'm at it, I might as well just do that with the other gums too. So, or actually, you know what? Instead, I'm gonna finish sculpting out the shapes and the gum line first, and then I'll just mask them all out and do it all at once. And that way I can kind of watch the overall like arc shape of the gums once the teeth are in place. So, the next tooth is the canine, and it looks like the canine is roughly about here on the eye socket. I think I might have made my nose a little bit too big. So I'm gonna just grab my move brush again and pull those nostrils in a little bit. And maybe pull in some of that too. That bridge is pretty intense now. So maybe I could knock that back a little bit. Yeah, cool. Go ahead, grab these teeth again, grab my damn standard brush, and I'll go ahead and just kind of keep on carving these out. So like I said, canine next, which is about there. And this is the last one you really can see with the mouth open and screaming. You get a little bit of this last tooth here, but these canines, I think, really are going to be the last ones that are like super visible in the sculpt. I think I'm going to go through and just like sculpt all the teeth anyways. Welcome. If you got any questions about game dev or animation, let me know. I do 3D stuff, 2D stuff, Unreal stuff. This is ZBrush, but just sort of keep on shaping out this shape. Looks like my geometry is getting a little wonky. I'm gonna just solo this for a second, see what we actually got going on here. Yeah, there we go. Now I can pinch this back together like I did with my other teeth. Looks like this gum line is pretty similar to this one. It's about in the same place vertically. And then, oh, I can dig that out quite a bit more. Yeah, this is working out pretty well. Looks like I did a pretty good thickness on the backside to give myself lots of space without any back-facing problems. Alright, I'm gonna grab my move brush, now that I have my gum line, and just kind of pull out this canine. I'll also pull all this stuff together. Yeah, it's starting to look like some teeth. It's starting to look like some teeth. We got, see that sort of convex curve they got going on right now? That definitely isn't right. So I can pull this tooth out like so. I think it either needs to be still substantially longer. So I'm gonna grab my move brush again and just bring it all the way down, and I can even make it a little bit sharper too. So I'm gonna grab a brush I haven't used yet, the H polish, which I think the shortcut is like BHP or something, but I still have it as one of my pre-assigned brushes. I have all my pre-assigned brushes to my number keys. So I have 9 preset brushes, and most of the time those are the only ones I ever need to use. Bangy B, what up? Let me know if you got any 3D modeling or animation questions, game dev questions, anything like that. So I can bring this back. I might need to, we're not really gonna see the back of the teeth, so it's not a huge deal, but I might need to pull up some more reference to get these right. And hopefully, yeah, back face is still working, doing all right. Yeah, cool. I think the shape is still not quite right. I need to just keep pulling on this tooth a little bit until it's curving sort of the right way. And I might honestly here in a second go in and duplicate this and zero mesh it and like project all the details, because my geometry is getting pretty funky, pretty bad. Go ahead, pull this together. Sweet. Let's see how that's looking in the mouth. I think I'm actually maybe showing a little bit too much gum line, so I can take this and just move it up, and that is, yeah, that's pretty good. He's looking pretty Dracula-y right now, which is kind of funny. But I'm gonna give him hair and all sorts of stuff eventually, but for now, just teeth. So the next tooth is actually kind of a similar shape, to be honest. It's just a little bit less sharp, and it looks like it ends. It's starting to recede. Looks like it ends like kind of in line with the edge of the pupil. So yeah, right around there. Right around there. I'm gonna go back into solo mode for this. Yeah, I think that's gonna be more or less our tooth. Pretty sweet. I'll go ahead and just like how I have been, just kind of carve this out. Smooth it. Hit 4, grab my pinch brush. Just keep on smoothing that out a little bit. Grab it. So it probably comes down to about there-ish. And like the last tooth, this one also gets pretty flat, but it's kind of on the other side. So I'll grab that H polish again. Oh shit, it's kind of grabbing part of that other tooth. And just kind of flatten that edge out. And then the same problem as before, it's kind of curving in the wrong direction, so I'm just going to grab my move brush. It looks like if I grab it by the bottom and pull that into place, that will give me more of the tooth shape that I'm looking for. You can see how that's looking in the overall head. That's looking pretty good. I think I might pull those front teeth out. Yeah, let's go back into solo. We can keep on carving away at this. Make them a little bit toothier. Make these tooth more like teeth, you know? There goes. Now we're getting some back face issues. I knew it was gonna happen. Oh, welcome up everybody, just popping in. Let me know if you got any animation, game dev questions. Yeah, now it's starting to get nice and rounded. And I think I might go ahead and do one more tooth, and then not worry about sculpting the rest because we won't see it. Like, unless you're really poking around inside the model's mouth, you would never see the teeth all the way back there. And if I can keep it shallow, it might 3D print a little bit better, because that's a ton of overhang in there. That's already going to be kind of hard to scoop out. So how you doing, Lulu? Alright. I do think that gum line is a little messed up. Ooh, and I'm definitely gonna pinch this together, these teeth. I'm actually gonna turn that brush way up and pull those teeth way together, and then smooth it out a little bit too. Yeah, that's cool. Sculpt out the gum line a little bit with the damn standard brush. Something like that. Although, again, I should wait until the very end. I just get excited. But I'm kind of getting into details too soon territory, so I'm going to zoom out. Like I said, I can kind of just form the back of this into one last little tooth. I think we'd still have actually 3 more teeth. Let me see. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'd have 3 more wisdom teeth. You still got your wisdom teeth too, so 4 more. But I think I can get away with just doing this last one back here, and that'll be fine for the pose that we're doing. Alright. Welcome in. Let me know if you got any animation, game dev questions, 3D modeling questions, anything of that nature. Right now I'm just working on getting these teeth into place for this screaming head model that I'm going to be 3D printing in a while. Go ahead. Got a mirror in front of me for reference, in case any artists are joining in mad that I'm not drawing from reference. Don't you worry. I'm making all sorts of crazy faces. Seeing what my teeth look like. Make sure I sculpt these teeth right. Go ahead. I'm just going to kind of knock these back until it's in line with the other ones. I don't really think anyone's going to be able to see this one. So it's fucking ads, man. Just let me have my music. Alright. Yeah, I might go solo mode for a second and just sculpt these teeth a little bit nicer. As I said, I don't even really think you can see this one, but I might as well try to get it kinda nice. This one's still a little bit canine-y, actually. It's not quite as canine-y. Oh, we got a follower. What up, Sam? Just doing some 3D modeling. They out. They don't care. Alright. Grab my pinch brush. Pull that in. chip away. Grab my pinch brush here too, and honestly, now that I have all that, I'm gonna grab a brush I haven't used yet actually, that's not in my shortcuts, Trim Dynamics, it's BTD, and it can be good for chipping away at edges like this. That's getting pretty wonky. I wonder, I might also just go down to a lower subdiv level and try to smooth it out. Just because, yeah, that edge is getting pretty problematic. Alright, now I'm going to go in and do a gum layer pass. I'm going to mask out all these teeth. I'm just kind of building this up right now. Mask out all this. Okay, so I got that built up a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can actually do something about that. Just get this knocked down back here. That's kind of where I'm gonna terminate those teeth. I think that should look pretty good. Yeah, I'm liking it. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Just as long as it looks good from every angle. And honestly, like on the toy, well, actually, it's gonna be screaming, so we will kind of be looking down into it like this. Which makes me wonder if I shouldn't just suck it up and do all the teeth. But, no, I think as long as the ones that poke out from the lips are visible, we'll be alright. And to be honest, the lips should barely cover those canines when we're looking straight on. So, and I'm actually gonna go ahead, I might grab my inflate brush and just try to knock down these lips, or maybe a pinch brush, because the lips really are not quite that thick. I might have overdone it, but yeah, that's more or less what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. And now I just kind of got to sculpt those lips back on. I think I probably can still get away with out turning back face mask on. I don't think this is gonna affect the back face. It's not. Nice. That's really nice. So I can just kind of give him his lips back, make sure they come up off the rest of the sculpt a little bit, and I'll smooth this out to give it a nice taper. I might even, this does, we should kind of actually have like a little something like that, a little bit more inflated, and then I can grab my Damien standard brush again, and that goes up kind of like that, and get a nice little crest in the lips. I'm gonna go ahead, I might inflate these lips just a little bit more, and I might also go back in after I inflate them. And yeah, I might go in with my Damien Standard, just kind of at the end of the lips and dramatize that crease a little bit. I am gonna give this character, I think, a beard and mustache, so I don't need to get too carried away. Because again, I'm kind of starting to get into details too soon territory. But at the same time, I do gotta kind of start locking into some of these details soon. That shape is not quite right. This is a really, really strange mouth shape. It's kind of hard to nail down. I think come out a little bit. Oh, this definitely. Alright. I think that's a little too extreme, so I'll smooth that out a bit. And then down here, I'm gonna just go ahead and pinch this again. Thin out where those lips end. These are looking a little bit lumpy. So I'm just gonna check them out from different angles and see if I can sculpt them into a little bit nicer shape. What up, Tad? Let me see. Looks like upper lip actually kind of tucks in under the lower lip. And mine are kind of doing the opposite right now. So I'm gonna grab my damn standard and just kind of try to map out that flow where the upper lip and lower lip meet. It's more like that. I might actually grab my clay brush too and hold Alt and just knock that back a little bit. Something like that is kind of what I'm going for, and I can grab my standard brush and use it to carve that out. I think that's kind of how it looks where those lips meet. Oh, that's actually pretty accurate. This gets really thin, and then there's a bit of muscle that just kind of pokes out. Should maybe blend in smoother. This also, even though it's thinner, it is more of a nice continuous curve. And I might go low poly for this. It'll be easier to maneuver into place. Yeah, now you can see it's following that curve quite a bit better. I'll go in here with my damn standard and just dramatize that meeting point. How? Yeah, the mouth does kind of come in first and then flail back out. And I keep using my mirror for reference if you wonder why I keep making crazy faces at my crotch while I'm trying to sculpt. It's because I got my mirror in my lap. Yeah, that's kind of how that upper lip, lower lip connection goes down. Not bad. Not too bad. Now I want to think about this shape a little bit harder. Yeah, I think that'll work. We actually can pull some of this up quite a bit. Sculpt out the inside of this lip shape a little bit more. It doesn't get so thin at the bottom. Actual brother Louis Vargas, welcome. Just doing some 3D modeling. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions or any other art questions. I want to see where I'm gonna put this head or anything like that. If you see me making crazy faces on camera, it's because I'm using my mirror as a reference. That's how I'm knowing what the fuck this should look like, you know? And I think these lips are way too thin. I can like grab an inflate brush and dramatize that quite a bit, make it a lot rounder. I'm not super familiar with the lip muscles, definitely not as much as I should be. So it's kind of hard to know like exactly where all the masses that form it should be. This is going to be pretty small when I 3D print it, the like mouth area, so I have some wiggle room, but just for my own sake as an artist, I'm always trying to make stuff look as nice as I can. It looks like, yeah, it looks like the lower lip, even though the jaw is so unhinged, it looks like the lower lip will still actually be a little bit further out from the front lip. So you can see mine right now, not even close. Not even close. I gotta fix that. So I'm just gonna grab my move brush and pull all this out. I think my curve on those lips too is also kind of like this and not like that. It's more concave than convex. So, or other way around maybe, I don't know. And it looks like actually it curves. It looks like from this it curves so much that the bottom of the lips are actually tucked back from the peak of that curve. Something like that. And then I'm gonna grab my gaming standard to carve out the bottom of the lips just a little bit more. Maybe do something like that. Yeah, this is getting a little bit wonky on me. I might work on a higher subdivision level for a second. Maybe I can grab my pinch brush and just pinch all that together. And then we're kind of faking that overlap in a way that'll still work on the 3D printer. Ooh, and definitely those lips are getting a little bit flat on this side, so I'll just grab an inflate brush and yeah, give those a little bit more of a rounded form like that. This should not be so far down from the rest, definitely more of a U shape. This, it looks like, can all get knocked down quite a bit, so it's not so puffy inside the mouth. It'll flow a lot more like that. The bottom is really tricky. I think I might have pulled this too far back earlier, but it can inflate at the bottom. And then, yeah, this. So that little overlapping part is right, but this sort of bulge in the lower lip continues back into the mouth and down towards the back of the teeth, around there-ish. I actually think, yeah, I kind of have this mouth shape wrong a little bit, so I can grab my move brush and just kind of get this shaped a little bit better. I think that's actually looking pretty good, not too bad. I made those bottom lips so big and dramatic. I might go ahead and try to do the same thing to the top lips, just inflate them a little bit more, give them a little bit more separation from the rest of the face. And the way this is flaring out, Oh yeah, no, I actually carved that out pretty well already. So I can just, yeah, something like that. Just real subtle. These are a little lumpy, so I'm gonna just smooth out that curve. Grab my move brush, maybe dramatize that even a little bit more. Definitely grab my damn standard and pull out the philtrum a bit more. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we're almost getting to a point where I can actually start thinking about details, which is really exciting. That's gonna be fun. This connection can be tightened up, pulled in close like that. That's pretty good. This doesn't need to get quite so hollowed out in there. Oh, now we're getting into backface problems, which unsurprising because this is getting pretty wonky in there. I might want to do it. Might want to give myself one more layer of subdivisions to work with. But for now, that's looking pretty good. Oh, it's... That's right. What? Yeah. All right. Alright. Lips are starting to look pretty good. We can really only see the first few teeth, and I think these might actually need to come forward a little bit. And maybe up and out a little bit. Yeah, cool. The tops of all these teeth get pretty thin. So let's go ahead and pinch this real quick. Definitely. Yeah, I think it's gonna be about like that. The back teeth are actually a bit lower than the front teeth. I'm just gonna carve that out a little bit. Plan ahead. Cool, and then I can come in and do the same exact process, just kind of carve out these bottom teeth. So I'll grab my damn standard brush. I'm gonna make it pretty small. together. Oh, and this, I'm going to add a bunch of subdivs to this because this is not working the way I want it to. Let me see if I have subdiv layers. I don't. So I'll just give it a couple of subdivision layers to work with. And now, come in here. Yeah, and you can see that's working a lot better. Let's add some separation to these teeth. I don't know, every mouth is different. My teeth are like super crowded right there. They actually like jut up against each other. So I'm gonna pinch them back and forth. When I go in and start detailing these and like adding some asymmetry, I honestly might. Oh, and these gums actually come pretty far up here. Like that. Maybe not quite that much, but might go solo mode for a second. Add this gum line in. So that's I think I might make these a little bit taller. These are like unbelievably flat teeth. The ones up front. So I'm gonna grab my age polish and just kinda flatten out the top, knock down that edge best I can. And I'm gonna pinch it too, because they're really sharp and really small. I'm gonna grab my pinch brush and just, yeah, bring those back down to size. And then I'm grabbing my clay brush. I'm actually gonna grab the dam standard and carve out more of that shape. These are pretty small teeth. They kind of align. They kind of align with the end of the bridge of the nose, so only like right there, to be honest. Yeah, kind of like that. A little bit more round. I'm going to pinch that back together. Yeah, that honestly is more or less how those teeth go. I'm going to try to carve down that a little bit better. See if we can get it a little bit more believable without breaking the geometry. Let me grab my pinch brush, bring those back together. Very nice. And I'm going to grab my move brush and just pull up the end of the tooth. That might even still be way too big. I'm just trying to, yeah, get those nice and flat. Smooth them out a little. And that's pretty good. I think that'll print pretty well. Push them together real tight. That way if I want to mask them out and sort of like nudge them over one another later, I can. Well, that's the kind of thing where it would be nice to have like each tooth separated and then I could just rotate them around individually. But this, keeping them together like this, is kind of helping me plan ahead for printing. Or at least that's what I'm telling myself, to have to avoid modeling every single tooth individually and then booleaning it. 'Cause I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that. What do these next teeth look like? They're pretty comparable. Maybe just a little bit more rounded up top and a little bit taller. So like, let me grab my move brush again. Something like that. They are almost the same width. Pretty small. Right there. Go back to solo mode. Get a little better view of them. There we go. There we go. That's about what they look like. Let's go ahead. Dig out that valley. Just kind of carve that out a bit. Grab my clay brush. Actually, I'm gonna grab my standard brush, my damn standard, and see if I can sculpt this down even more. Get a little bit more separation between these teeth. It's starting to get a little bit wonky on me, so we'll see. Yeah, let's carve that out and then pinch it together. And these teeth are kind of the same as the two front teeth. Oh wow. In that they're really flat and thin up top. And I'm actually gonna grab a clay tool and dig out the back of this tooth. Something just so it's a little bit more toothy. I will go ahead, drag this in. And we don't need the back of the teeth to look good, especially the bottom teeth, because there's going to be a tongue sitting right up against them. But I still can get all this as close as I can. Oh, that's the wrong brush. Yeah, there we go. And then these can get flattened out on that side. They are a little bit more curved and a little bit taller in the front teeth, but not quite as dramatically as I have here. So I'm gonna see if I can just knock them down a little bit. That's quite a bit closer. And I'll make the gum line a little bit more in line so they are kind of the same size. I also think the front two are a little too wide, so maybe I'll pinch it in. I'm gonna smooth, whoa, I'm gonna smooth out just that tooth a little bit more. Cool. I probably will have to do a duplication and reprojection of the top and bottom teeth at some point. Yeah, these are like thicker, more like canine shaped teeth coming up. So grab my move brush and just kind of start shaping out this tooth again. Oh, it's actually smaller than the teeth I've already done. So something something like that, but shorter. Cool, I think that's gonna start to get us where we want to be. So I can start. And these gums go, the gums on these tooth, at least in my receding gum line, have an ass mouth, go quite a bit lower than these ones. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, that's working out pretty well. That's working out pretty well. Make this a lot smaller. Go ahead. Just carve out those valleys. See if I can not destroy the geometry though, to the best of my ability. Alright. Looking pretty screamy. I do think this shape is not quite right. The overall shape of it. It looks like the whole thing would actually kind of taper out. That's a little bit closer. Alright, let me solo this again. Kind of build up the gums while we're here. I'm gonna have to come through and do all this a lot nicer at the end, but okay. Our next tooth is a lot smaller and a lot thicker. So I'm gonna grab my move brush right off the bat, move this all down. It looks like the overall shape is still kind of the same, although it kind of curves towards the back. It's about like this. Yeah, it's about something like that. Go ahead, grab my pinch brush, grab my move brush, and so this one kind of comes to a peak up there and is dug out back here. That's too much because it's a little bit, it's actually like a little bit thicker than all the other teeth I've done so far. That's actually more or less about right. That's actually really close. I just gotta see. Apple user, let me know. You got any animation, game dev questions? Just doing some modeling. Be gone. I scared him off. Alright. Yeah, and then I can pinch these back together. Right. Kind of dig this out from the other side. I think, let me see, I think we're probably getting pretty close to having this like as nice as we need to sell the sculpt. I definitely don't think I need to do all these bottom teeth either. Build up the gum line a bit. Make sure the gums are on top of the teeth. Go back to solo. Yeah. So, dang, I might be wrong actually. actually. I might need to do a couple more teeth, because we really can. Yeah, I might even have to do... God, part of me wonders if I shouldn't just do all the teeth for the whole mouth. You can kind of see all the bottom teeth. The top teeth still, like... I mean, God, I could just do it and see. So I just have to carve out enough space in the mouth, and I'm actually just going to go crazy on that for a second. And I can always build it back up super easy if I need to, but I'm just going to give these teeth a little more room to live. The way this crease tapers out right now, I don't like it at all. It needs to kind of disappear gradually. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. I wonder if I can inflate the inside of that a little bit more. There, maybe. Alright. Yeah. Nope, I still gotta knock that way back. Whoops. Way back there. Fuck. Without hitting the lips. That might be enough room. That might be enough room. That might be a little bit better. Let's see. Yeah, I think I can fit a couple more teeth back in there. Let me solo this. See. I'm probably gonna take a second to remesh all of this now. Maybe I'll just do it from the highest subdiv level. I'm not working with that much geometry. I don't think it'll take that long. I don't think have enough geometry to get the rest of my teeth. So I'm gonna just stretch out and inflate the geometry I do have and just kind of try to get it to the right shape. Like you can see even without my polys on how stretched and fucked up that's getting. But when I Z-remesh it, it should fix all of that for me, and then I can have all this extra geometry to work with to try to get the rest of the teeth sculpted in this bad boy. Yeah, you can see how nasty that's all getting. Yeah, it's probably a good time for a Z-remesh, and I haven't done enough details yet to like worry about ruining the detail. I don't even have these teeth all like exactly the right shape yet, to be honest with you, so maybe I will, since I'm going to be Z-remeshing, we'll take a second to just like carve some of that shit out a little bit more. And then yeah, and then I'll Z-remesh it and like add some subdivs back in. And then I should be able to sculpt on this part of it a whole lot easier. Because you can see I like can't even use it right now. So I'll hit, well, I have a custom menu, but for me, Alt-S. And maybe I'll do a video someday where I go over how to set up my custom menu. That'd be nice for people if they want to follow along. Z-remesher, so I'll Z-remesh to half. I don't have any groups, so I don't need to worry about that. Adapt on, yes. And this should all get just like so much nicer now, but it takes a little bit, so we'll give it a second to resolve. Oh, it looks like it's done. Yeah, you can see all that is way, way nicer. What is this? Ooh. This did not get that much nicer in through here, but that's alright. You know what I'm going to do actually? I'm going to try it with adaptive all the way off, and then it'll prioritize quad flow over shape. Yeah, so that's a bit better. And now if I duplicate it, or subdivide it, I mean, I should be able to work with it a little bit easier. Yeah, I think that's starting to work out pretty well for me. I think I should maybe have enough. Should have enough space that I can sculpt in those back teeth. Let's see here. Yeah, maybe I'll just keep on moving right along with those. So we've done the first 4, 2, 3, do number 5, which is pretty similar to the last one, but a little bit flatter on top, it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead. How big is it? It's about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger, and I think this is the last one before the I think, yeah, the molars in the back. Whoops. So like I have been, I'm just gonna try to carve all this down, fake it like there's actual separation between the teeth, even though there is not. I am doing a sculpt of a quadruped that I'll be streaming, where I am actually going through and sculpting out all the teeth and gums and tongue and everything as separate objects. So if you are curious in the process, I will be doing that on a different stream, because that one's more geared for game dev, but this model is for 3D printing, which is why I'm keeping all these teeth together on the same piece in the model instead of separating them out. Anybody tuning in, let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Drop them in the chat. I love to read them, love to answer them. Sorry that my music player is playing accursed fucking ads right now, but it is what it is. They'll be gone soon. Look at that, just like that. And let me know if you're just joining in, if you want me to pop over to the main sculpture, because I'm putting this head onto a big, crazy sculpture. This is just one small piece of the puzzle, but I don't want to be flipping back and forth too much for the people who have already seen it. Alright, yeah, so this tooth is like really similar to the other one. It just doesn't quite crest out as much up top. It stays a bit flatter, so I might grab like a clay brush and just kind of build this up, carve it back a little bit, something kind of like that. And all of these should be a little bit more hollow on the back, especially that one, so I can fix that real quick. Hubbard, I see you hanging out. I appreciate you. Let me know if you got any questions about animation, game dev, art making, anything like that, or anything else really. Yeah, and I'm wondering, that's actually That's still not quite right. The back side of this tooth is gonna degrade a lot more. It's not gonna be quite so thick back there. So I can just knock that sucker back real quick. Oh, I think I went too far. So we can tease it back out. Yeah, that's pretty close. It looks like I did not quite make this long enough to do all my teeth. Actually, we might be alright, because I made this way too big at the moment. That should be about the same size as this one, maybe a tiny bit bigger. Maybe a tiny bit bigger. And then, yeah, and then the next tooth back is a molar. So I did not leave enough room in the mouth or on the dentures. I think I could almost get away. I could almost get away with only having one denture or one molar back there, it looks like, but not quite. It looks like you would actually be able to see it. So I'm just gonna keep digging this mouth cavity back more and more and more until we have enough space for all the teeth. It's getting pretty big. I'm gonna talk to my friends who know a little bit more about 3D printing than I do. There's a really good chance I'm gonna have to come back through here and not make this cavity so wide and hollow, because the overhang might be like a little bit much for 3D printing. Like all that might just become a jumbled mess that I'm not actually able to carve out. But I don't know that for sure, and it's gonna be like really small at scale when it's printed. So I'm hoping that kind of gives me some wiggle room. Smooth that out, make it fatter. Yeah, so it looks like I didn't make this nearly big enough for 2 molars, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna just, right? Yeah, let me, I'm gonna mark out at least actually where that first molar would end, because it's not like that much bigger than the last 2, but it's definitely bigger, and like noticeably so. I think something like that. I think that's a really nice molar. Action 6, what's up, dude? I'm just doing some 3D modeling, man. Putting some teeth in this screaming head, and then I'll do hair and a mustache and beard, and eventually, since you're in here, eventually I'm gonna put it on a whole crazy ass sculpt that I don't have open right now. But I'll show you, I got like a headless sculpt just waiting for this head to be slapped on. Grab my, what is the most recent one? Yeah, I'll grab this. Just a 3D piece. This one is just going to be a 3D model that gets printed. So you can see I have the base plate, and it should all be freestanding. I've tried to sculpt it in a way that it'll, you know, defy gravity properly. I have the dress like wrapping around the branch and everything. But yeah, this head is going to get slapped on to here. Just a model. And what's interesting, this is actually my first time sculpting like a toy or just like a freestanding sculpt. Everything else I've ever 3D modeled has been for a video game or a film, an animated film, but this one is just for a 3D print. And it's been kind of fun because 3D printing is like, the specifications are just way less intense than animation or games, so I can kind of just like have fun in Sculpt and not have to worry so much about the way the quads are flowing or anything like that. But the downside, the shitty thing, like animation, I can just sculpt as many different pieces as I want and then rig it in a way that they'll move properly. So like you can see over here, I have all these different pieces that actually make up this sculpt. And to print it, I'm going to have to get all those combined and into one piece before I can actually print it. So that is going to be a huge pain in the ass. That's like the one downside of modeling for a 3D print as opposed to like a game or film piece. But other than that, I like the flow quite a bit more. It's just less intense, less stressful. And I like won't, unless I decide to paint this or something and like render it out, which I actually am considering because I, for the most part, like the way it's going. But unless I decide to paint it, I won't have to do like UVs or any like real like technical boring stuff to it. I'm just obsessed with 3D. I appreciate you saying that. That's really nice, but I like it because it's just like a never-ending rabbit hole I can slide down, and then sometimes I think I have it figured out and the software gets an update and the whole workflow is changed again. But I'm kind of a masochist like that, I guess. With 3D, I like to suffer and be frustrated and have my software crash on me constantly. Which, speaking of, it's been a while since I've saved, so do that, give it a second. Alright. I also did not make these long enough at all to do the final molar, so I'm gonna have to kind of just mess up this geometry and get it as close as I can and then remesh it. But we're gonna watch these quads get really stretched and disgusting. Yeah, and honestly, Action 6, a lot of my friends are way more talented than this. I mean, this is gonna be tiny. This is gonna be, let me see if I can grab something. I can show you roughly the size. It'll be, each person in the figure is gonna be about the size of this Luffy figurine, which is like about the size of a soda can. So the whole piece will be, you know, like a foot tall tops. Basically as big as the 3D printer can hold it. And I'm considering trying to do them in different pieces and putting like pegs for their feet and stuff. But that's a whole another can of worms. So we'll see. I also, I have a friend who like does 3D printing and modeling stuff as like the main part of her job. So she's gonna help me figure it out, help me like, she's gonna look at it and be like, okay, this is what's gonna work, this is what's not gonna work, this is what you're gonna have to fix to make it print. I have another friend who actually, he makes like giant sculptures for his job, and I helped him with a music festival. I did a 3D model for him, and he, those ended up being like 4 feet tall, but he does stuff that's like 12 feet tall, and he'll print out like, he'll have like a 20-foot statue of like a demon or something, and he'll print out just like weird little like 2-foot by 2-foot pieces, because that's how big his printer is, and just like stick them all together. It's crazy. But this is gonna be small. This is just gonna be a little action figure with a little oval base plate just like this. Like I said, we'll see if I really like this model when I'm done with it, then I'll probably take the time to go in and fix the topology and actually make it something that's like more close to a game ready object, so I can paint it and render it and make it look nice and pretty. Or we'll see, or I'll just grab some screen grabs from ZBrush and forget about it forever and do something else. It's really hard to say. And it's kind of going well so far, so there is a chance I'll spend the extra time with it to paint it and light it and try to make some art out of it besides the model, but it's hard to say. I appreciate the like. I appreciate you popping by and asking an animation question. That's my favorite thing. I like when I get to nerd out on this crap for a little while. And all this is going to get pinched together. I just don't want to worry about my details too soon, because I'm going to have to do a whole pass where I like pull the gums up over the teeth and make those a little bit more believable. I'm also, like, everything I'm doing right now is probably overkill, because who knows how much you're going to be able to see the teeth, and who knows how much anybody is even going to be like looking at the teeth ever on this little teeny tiny model, but might as well overkill it than underkill it. Alright, I think that's about the size of another molar. And that stretched out geometry is going to be nasty to work with. It's just like not going to work. You can already see how terrible this is doing. So I need to remesh this. Stop motion is cool. I'm not a great stop motion animator. It's really hard. I actually I ended up working at this company this summer where I did like prop fabrication and stuff like that, and it's pretty fun. But I'm definitely partial to computer animation. I had some friends do a claymation last year, and they did a claymation of like a dog, which, like, I don't know, quadrupeds are even harder to work with, so I was kind of blown away by that. I was like, y'all are freaks. And yeah, school is tough, man. I always wanted to be an animator, and I got my undergrad degree not in animation, and then worked not in animation for like 4 years, and now I'm in school getting my master's for animation. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's like super expensive. That's definitely like the worst, scariest part, and the industry is like not great right now. But if you love animation and like want to do it, I mean, animation school has been the best time of my entire life. Like, I've gotten to meet people who worked on films that I watched growing up. I've got to like work with like geniuses from all over the world to make animated films and games and stuff together. So like, it's definitely a cool experience, but like, we'll see what happens if I graduate. We'll see if I can pay off all this debt. And I'll also say, like, I was really hesitant to go to school because I don't, like, a lot of kids out here, undergrad for engineering, let's go. I got a direct in my like collaborative class for my master's degree, and 2 of the people on my team did their undergrad in engineering. I think one civil, I think one civil, one mechanical engineering, and now they're trying to get their MFAs in animation. But engineering is like, as far as like getting a job and money and like stability, way easier, way better track than animation. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I mean, the animation is cool. It's like really fun. It's like it's the fucking best. So, and who knows if I like? I mean, if I like do get a job even at a indie game studio or like a small animation studio, I mean, obviously, like at that point, I'm like, yeah, absolutely worth it. No questions asked. Like best time of my life, and set me up for a career doing something I love. If I can't find a job and I'm straddled with all that debt, we'll see. Might feel a little bit differently, but I trust things will work out. And I can always get a job doing other stuff. I have lots of work experience, but I want to animate more than anything. It's also, I think you'd be surprised. I don't know what kind of engineering you're doing, but if you're doing like anything like civil or mechanical or architectural, it translates to 3D modeling like super well. I meet a lot of people who did their undergrad in like architecture as well as engineering who end up animating and being really, really, really good at 3D animation. And some of them even get jobs at really cool game companies. I still have a year before I graduate, so we'll see what happens. But I do have some hope. Some of my friends have graduated and like gone to work like directly for like Blizzard or Fortnite or all kinds of crazy places. One or two at DreamWorks. The illustrious fucking DreamWorks. Yeah, that's looking pretty molar-y. I'm gonna remesh this. Just shoot for the same number of polygons, just a little bit nicer edge flow. And I have adapt turned off. Sam, welcome back. Just still working on this 3D modeling. Oh, they're out. Popped back in for 2 seconds. Said, fuck this, I'm out. I think that back one can probably come in a little bit, get a little bit bigger, but for the most part, those back teeth are going to be completely obscured by the tongue. Oh, Best Buy Studios, that's sweet. That's super sick. Yeah, STEM is cool. I started my undergrad in computer science, and I like did okay with it, but I was like taking art classes and English classes to fill my electives, and I was like, I'm gonna do this stuff. What's crazy though is like the deeper I get into animation, the more I kind of wish I had stuck out computer science a little bit longer, because like the easiest jobs to get are all technical animation positions, and it's like you're technically a technical artist, but it's a lot more tech than art at the highest levels. It's just a lot of scripting, a lot of solving really complex computer issues, and if you can do that, you can find work easily and get paid big fucking bucks. I'm way more interested in the art stuff. I'm starting to get kind of decent at scripting in Unreal and blueprinting in Unreal, like a little bit of the game design side of things, just to kind of try to hedge my bets professionally a little bit. But like definitely the modeling, painting, animating side of things is like what I would love to do. That's my real passion. That's what I like to do on my free time, and if I could get paid to do stuff like this, like that would be a dream come true. How was the internship with Best Buy Studios? That sounds like really cool. Yeah, fellow filmmaker. That's so cool. Do you have, I think I follow you on here. Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, let me know if you have a YouTube or anything like that too. I'll definitely like support you on any platform that you're on. I gotta look in the mirror. See what's up with these fucking teeth. Yeah, they're both kind of hollowed out into 4 quadrants. That's what it kind of looks like to me. So I did that a little bit too much. Make my brush smaller. It's kind of like a cross in the middle. Solo this again. YouTube shorts, short form videos. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, that sounds like a really cool internship. That sounds awesome. Which are you from Minnesota? You don't have to answer that. Actually, don't like dox yourself on the internet. But I guess what I'm really curious about was like how was living and working in Minnesota. I have my stepdad is from Minnesota. I have a bunch of friends out here in Georgia who came from Minnesota. Alright, and then just the very back tooth I think is kind of the same. Ah. Yeah, more or less. I'm not even going to be able to see it anyways. I don't know why I'm taking such painstaking. Been here all your life, great. That's awesome. I moved, I'm in Georgia now and moved out there from Wyoming, and I did not like Wyoming because, well, lots of reasons, but primarily the lack of opportunity. I've heard, honestly, everybody I've ever met who's like spent time in Minnesota really seems to like it. Definitely things I miss about Wyoming, but for the most part, Georgia is a much better place for me personally to be. Main thing I miss is the mountains. I think I don't know about Minnesota's geography too much, but I feel like y'all probably gotta have some mountains around there. Maybe not. But out here in southern Georgia ain't even a frickin' hill in sight. Alright, I think I have these teeth to a place where I can mask out the teeth and pull the gums over them. Oh, Macon, word! I've not spent much time in Macon. I've been mostly Savannah and Atlanta. But yeah, Georgia rips. Not the worst place. Pros and cons for sure. Bugs out here are crazy coming from a cold place like Wyoming. Oh my god. That was probably the biggest adjustment. Inside of the mouth doesn't really matter. I might just smooth that all out. Then, oh yeah, that's looking pretty teethy. Those teeth be teethin'. What's the hissing roaches? Yeah. just all the noise out here broadly is crazy to me. Because Wyoming, it's like really, it's brown and cold and dead, and Savannah is like super green, super alive year round. And honestly, that was like one of the first things that struck me when I came out here. Was just all the hissing cockroaches, the birds, the cicadas. There's just like so much noise outside all the time. The gunshots and loud music as well. Oh, I love it. All right, what am I even doing on the bottom of these teeth? This doesn't even matter. Let me think about it. I probably should sculpt the rest of the top teeth too at this point. Pretty sad. Rains like crazy is right. And we got smacked with 2 hurricanes last year, which was, again, coming from Wyoming, it's an adjustment. It is quite the adjustment. I mean, we get like snowstorms that'll kill you from the cold in Wyoming, but we don't get hurricanes. That shit's different. That shit is different. Alright, I suppose I'll sculpt out the rest of the top teeth before I keep on keeping on. Or at least back to one of the top molars. And the same thing, familiar process at this point. I'm just gonna fake this geometry, just really sculpt it and distort it. Damn. And make sure I don't hit any of the pieces I actually want. Are you talking to me?
Yep.
What's up?
I have something really exciting but wildly unimportant and maybe kind of rude to interrupt your stream about.
Alright, wife cameo.
The Osbournes.
Let's go, news.
The Osbournes is on Prime.
Oh, great, have fun.
But we lost a king, first of all. Secondly, it's incredible.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll be very fun for you. I'm happy for you.
It's a great time.
I'm happy for you.
Ozzy Osbourne is an angel. Heaven's sakes. God bless. Or Satan.
Something
whichever.
like that.
Yeah.
More Prince of Darkness or whatever, but...
Fucking Bubbles, Sharon, the Prince of fucking Darkness. I got Bubbles.
Let's go. Oh, the Osbournes. Right, I think I can almost... Actually, reference time. I have no idea if that's enough space for the rest of the teeth. What am I talking about? We got... How many have I even done? 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 5. All right, let's take a look. Is it just molars? Oh yeah, it's just the 2 molars. I'm so lazy. Why didn't I just do this earlier? So I need space enough for 2 molars. I don't want to distort the other tooth. Oh yeah, look at those quads starting to stretch. Starting to get real nasty. I'm gonna try to inflate it too, just so I don't lose my volume. See if it'll let me. Look how bad. Look how bad that geometry is getting. Just, is that 2 molars? That's at least 1. That's pretty close. I'll give myself a little bit extra space. Just grab that move brush and keep pulling it back. Yeah, I think that's about right. Just for shits and gigs, let's see what happens if I try to sculpt on it right now. Oh yeah, broken. Alright. Go ahead and remesh this sucker, get those quads back to a more uniform size. I'm going to turn adapt off because I can re-sculpt those details when I do a detail pass. And I'm going to favor quad flow over shape. That's all that adapt button means. If you turn adapt on, it means that the program will worry more about making the right shape than making perfect squares. If you turn adapt off, it worries more about making perfect squares than it does making the right shape. And in this case, I'm more interested in perfect squares because they just make it easier to sculpt. And I might subdivide this one level. Whoops. Knock that back down. Pinch it together. I shouldn't be doing this yet. I should wait until I'm doing details. Alright. Alright, gotta pull myself. Gotta snap myself out of it sometimes. I always want to do details too soon because I think details are fun, but it's really important to try to get those basic forms down first. Alright, I'm gonna just kind of lazily try to sculpt out roughly those two molar shapes. I can't actually really see the top of my mouth even with my little mirror setup, so I'm going to look for some like 3D dentures. I wonder if I can find something that they'll actually let me 3D model. If not, I can just look at a picture. All I really need is the scale, because the overall these are going to be so hidden in the back of the mouth. This is like complete overkill. But oh, Sketchfab, sweet. Sketchfab is the best. This is like my favorite freaking website. It looks like this is maybe like 170% the size of that last tooth, and then this one is pretty close, maybe only like 25% bigger. So yeah, all right. I think. Whoa. This will be the biggest tooth. Yeah, about like that. I think that looks really good. I think that looks really good size-wise, so just keep doing what we've been doing for the other ones. And to be like completely transparent, I honestly probably could have found just some teeth online. Like I could have taken those dentures off Sketchfab, or even the Z library in ZBrush probably already has some teeth I can use, but I just really like sculpting stuff and looking up a bunch of different references, and I like that I'm gonna have something at the end that like all the parts are completely unique to anything anyone else will have made. But like in reality, I mean, so much of game dev and like 3D animated films is a lot of finding pre-made assets and working with other artists and standing on the backs of giants. This is ZBrush. This is ZBrush, although my screensaver is Unreal. I made this crazy ass head in Unreal, and this is actually like a door. This is like a door that you could use for like a boss fight. So the head opens up, and then it's like all satanic and scary inside, and you like walk through a hole. It's like a skull inside, and you walk through some like stairs. The teeth shoot out and turn into stairs. I could show you if you want, but no, this is ZBrush. And even like actually this project, so I did my sculpting. I did my sculpting all in ZBrush. I sculpted everything in ZBrush. Is that right? Yeah, every single thing in ZBrush. And then I exported my ZBrush models from ZBrush into Substance Painter. And I actually, to get it to work in game design, like this is one of those things I would have to worry about with games that I don't have to worry about with this sculpt. But like for game design, every single object I had a low subdiv level and a high subdiv level. So like this, you can see up here has 150,000 polygons right now, and the low subdiv has like 10,000. So what you have to do to get stuff to work in games, because you don't want to have the fucking 150,000 polygon head in your game, you want the 10,000 polygon head. But you have to have both models, and you basically take the low model head into Substance Painter. You have a high version head that also exists, and then you bake like all the texture maps from the high poly version onto the low poly version. So like for this sculpt here, I think the actual head that you are looking at is like 30,000 polygons, but it has like 2.5 million polygons worth of detail projected onto it. And so I did all that in Substance Painter. So I modeled in ZBrush. I actually, in between, so I modeled in ZBrush. I took the ZBrush model into Maya. I did my UV unwrapping in Maya. You can do it in ZBrush, but I have access to Maya since I'm a student, and it's just like a lot easier. So it was modeling in ZBrush, UV unwrapping in Maya, painting in Substance Painter 3D, and then I took all those models and textures and everything into Unreal Engine. And Unreal Engine I did, like I sculpted the landscape in Unreal Engine, I did all the lighting in Unreal Engine, I did all the animation in Unreal Engine. I could have done the animation in Maya, but I wanted to learn how to animate in Unreal Engine. And then I did all the blueprinting in Unreal Engine too. So like the lights in the face, that like lit up like pattern on the face, it actually lights up as part of the animation. Being able to like actually activate the door in game, so I had to like set up the code so you could like actually run around with your character and like press a button to make the door open, trigger the cutscene, all that. So all of that was Unreal Engine. To be honest, I would not. You can model in Unreal Engine. I'm not super familiar with their modeling suite, but what little modeling I've tried to do in Unreal Engine, I really don't like it. I really don't like it. So it can be done. Doing something like this would be tough. Unreal and Blender, they're just so different. I haven't used Blender in a couple of years, except for like really, really specific tasks. Like if I know there's a Blender modifier that's gonna be hard to replicate in another software, I'll use Blender to like pop out a model really quick. Like I did like a disco ball for this little robot. I don't know, they're just so different. Blender, I would say Blender is probably better for 3D modeling and for 3D modeling and for 2D animation. I think Unreal is probably better for everything else. Unreal is better for like rigging, Unreal is better for lighting, Unreal is way better for animation. The animation in Unreal is like pretty much the same as the animation in Maya, and the animation in Maya is like the best in my opinion. I hate the animation in Blender. Like I said, it's been a couple years since I've tried to animate in Blender, so they might have upped their game like extensively since I was last on the software, but yeah, I used to fucking hate trying to animate in Blender. They did not have a good animation suite. But I do think Blender has better modeling tools. I think it's way easier to do hard surface and organic modeling in Blender than Unreal. And texturing in Blender, yeah, texturing in Blender is sweet. Especially like procedural texturing in Blender is really sweet, but texturing in Unreal is also pretty sweet. So I might call that one a toss-up. Real-time rendering, Unreal, all the way, all the way. Blender's real-time render engine is not very powerful, and its cycles rendering is so slow. So slow. And definitely my favorite thing about Unreal is lighting and rendering. Like, it's just nice. It's so fun. Lighting in any other 3D software is miserable because that's like what affects the render time the most. So a lot of programs, like if you're trying to render in Maya or Blender, you change the light and then you wait for 40 seconds for the scene to reload, and then you're like, oh, I actually don't like that change. Undo it, wait for 40 seconds for the scene to reload. But Unreal, you can change the colors, crank up the brightness, move the lights all around the scene all crazy, and it just like updates in real time at like full unbelievable realistic quality resolution. So lighting in Unreal it's fun, and lighting in most software is not that fun. IMO. It's still kind of fun, like it's a cool part of the process always. It's one that I always enjoy, but I enjoy it the most when I am using Unreal, for sure. For sure. But I definitely need to get back into using Blender again. And like these days, there's more and more jobs that really want you to learn Blender over Maya. And it's really kind of a shame that my program out here is so Maya heavy. Like, I get it, that's been the industry standard for years. But the industry is changing, and I think it would be good to like have some Blender classes being taught in animation programs. I just think it'd make a lot of sense. And they're integrating Unreal into the curriculum, like really nice. Which is why it kind of baffles me that we're not doing more stuff with my other monitor. It's kind of a funky ass shape underneath there. It's not that same cross pattern. But yeah, it kind of baffles me that we're not pushing Blender a little bit harder in my program. It seems like we should be. And I definitely could push myself harder to just like use it, but I'm like kind of comfortable and complacent. I got so good at animating with Maya, and I just enjoy it so much. And I'm so used to modeling with Blender, I don't know what I'm gonna do when I lose. Or to modeling with ZBrush, I mean. It's gonna suck when I lose educational access to all this software. Might call for a return to the high seas, if you know what I'm saying, because I love to model on ZBrush. I love to model on ZBrush, and it's pretty expensive. Or I'll just get hired in the industry and have access that way. Or I'll get a teaching job. See what happens. Alright, and this back one like tapers out towards the back of the mouth, it looks like. It's really kind of a weird shape. And it really doesn't matter, because who's ever gonna see this? Fucking nobody. Alright, can pinch these back together. Now I might be ready to actually think about like details and gum overlap and all that jazz. Let me just double check. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Looks like I accidentally took some swipes out of the lip while I was carving out the mouth. That's pretty sad. I'll smooth those out. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make another little pass at that. Sigh. That up. That's a bummer. It's a bummer, that's why I gotta be careful and pay attention. Oh yeah, that's not the right shape. Ah! It's so hard to see in the reference. Oh, it actually does look like the middle will actually be not quite as far out as the sides from this shape. It's a really weird mouth shape. It's a really intense mouth shape. Ooh, I also gotta check. I think my homie's music might have ended, which means I might be drifting dangerously into copyright territory. Oh no, it's still Element. He's just sampling K dot. Sounds like. Alright, I don't care. That's on him. Digital comic, sweet. Are you gonna draw that live, or are you just gonna post it? I'd love to see it. I've made a couple comics. I got a comic called Third Eye Genesis for sale right now. Actually, I have a comic called Hades Freedom: The Revolution Begins that is available for free on Webtoons. Just to shamelessly self-promote real quick. That's cool, man. I love comics art, and that's definitely kind of my what's the word I'm looking for, like runway into animation was comics. That's cool though. I'll be on the lookout for it. What's the application that you use to draw with? I'm a big Procreate guy. I know there's a lot of like Clip Studio people, but the artist who did my Third Eye Genesis comic actually uses I believe it's called Corel Painter, and he really likes it. Yeah, Procreate's the fucking goat. Procreate's the goat. Let's go. I love Procreate. Procreate is my favorite program to make art with, to be honest. ZBrush might be right up there just because it's just like so flowy and fun, which most 3D software is not. It's like really lock in type shit. But same with Procreate. Procreate's just so fun. It's just so satisfying and so powerful and so cheap. Most importantly, so fucking cheap. I heard also if you ever I mean, I don't know if you're like engineering and drawing on Procreate and shit and making films, sounds like you have a ton on your plate already. But if you ever want to get into 3D modeling, I think there's a program called Nomad for the iPad that is like comparable to ZBrush. That's only like $30 one time. It's like really, really cheap. I haven't used it yet, but my one of my bosses at work, that's what she uses for like everything she 3D models that's organic like this is Nomad. It might even be by the same people as Procreate, but I'm not sure about that. But yeah, Procreate it's the best. It's the best. I love it. And I've been working on yeah, you should if this sort of art seems fun to you. Nomad Sculpt. I've been working on an illustration on Procreate too. I'm not sure how I can like live stream stuff on my iPad yet, but there's a piece I've been working on there, just like when I'm not in work or school or working on stuff like this. I keep coming back to. I've been working on for like 2 years now. Getting pretty close to being finished. And I don't know if you care, but I made this sucker up here in Procreate. Oh, what? Oh no, that seems to be framed alright. That started out as a Procreate painting. I like her. I think she's pretty decent. Ooh, Wonder Woman, good luck. Wonder Woman's hard to draw too, so that'll be fun. I believe in you. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely have been milking that one for a lot of content for sure. Took me a long time to make, and I like the way it turned out. So I've definitely been using it to feed the content overlords. We use it, I like to use Procreate for like character design and stuff too sometimes. It does come into play in my animation practice every now and then, but not as much. I like using it for impact frames too. Procreate's great for doing crazy ass impact frames. Alright, and I think that tongue can just sit right in there. The overall shape is pretty good. It looks like these teeth got a little wonky, so I might just kind of pull them back in line with everything else. I don't think they should. I think that curve should be like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Double check these ones too. Yeah, I'm really happy with that basic shape. Really happy with that basic shape. So, since I already started on these, I will do the gum pass on this one first. And I might... What I'll do first, actually, is just make sure all these are really... Thank you for popping by, sticking around for a while, chatting with me a bit, man. I really appreciate it. I really love to talk about this stuff. So you enjoy the rest of your day. Peace, love, and prosperity. Action 6. I will see you on the next one, and I will definitely be posting stuff. So it'll be out there. It'll be floating around. Pone, welcome. We're just doing some 3D modeling. Working on modeling this face, been modeling these teeth. It's gonna go in a big, crazy, scary sculpt. So if you have any questions about animation or game dev or modeling or art or science or poetry, just ask them. I might not know the answers, but I'll sure act like I do. Right now, I'm actually... Looks like I got a couple people joining in across platforms, so I'll just take a second and show you what I'm working towards. This is the overall sculpt, really scary horror movie inspired sculpt. And so right now I'm working on this head, which is going to be screaming in terror, and I'm going to put it on top of this body that I've been sculpting. And you can see I sculpted out all the like different pieces of cloth and stuff. I think I put some buttons on this shirt already, but still got some work to go. This scary thing is definitely the most like finished part of the sculpt so far. Ah! Although I do gotta fix her hands, or at least fix this hand. This is like very clearly unposed, unsculpted. But yeah, that's what's up. Those of y'all just joining in, welcome to the stream. Let me know if you got questions. Art, animation, game dev, those are the big ones. But I'm happy to talk about whatever. I'm just here hanging out, sculpting. Love it when people ask me questions. Love it when people follow my account. So that's about all I'm gonna ask from you, that's all. And even if you don't have questions, I just love when people pop by and stick around and watch me make art for a little bit. I'll just keep talking about that in the meantime. So what I'm doing right now, I've finished sculpting these teeth. That's what I've been spending my time doing this stream. And now I'm gonna go in and do a pass where I sculpt out the gums and just really take some time to make sure that it looks like those teeth are going up into those gums. which right now that you like don't at all. You can see they're just kind of like flat and like right up against each other. So we're gonna fix all that. But first, as I said a second ago, I'm just making sure that all the spacing between these looks really nice. Looks exactly the way I want it before I take the time to go through and fix that gum line. You can see that's getting a little bit wonky. I might want to consider hitting it from the other side also. And I might also, we'll see, but I probably should go ahead and remesh all this one final time before I do the gum pass. It definitely won't hurt anything. I'll just have to play around with like the adaptive versus non-adaptive settings and just kind of think about how much I care about quad flow versus shape. I'm starting to get to the point where I care way more about quad flow than shape, because I'm starting to get to the point where I'm not actually going to be doing much more sculpting. So if the quads are nasty, like it doesn't matter as long as they're not overlapping, as long as there's not like non-manifold geometry. Like it really doesn't matter so much. Back of the teeth don't matter either. You can see I just like didn't even sculpt those out because they're barely gonna be visible in that final sculpt. But all right, that I think I'm pretty damn happy with it. Maybe I'll try to pinch that together a little bit more, but yeah, I think this is about right. So now I'm gonna come through, I'm gonna mask out all these teeth, at least the outside. The inside doesn't matter nearly as much. Never gonna see it. Literally never gonna see it if you're trying to look inside that part of my sculpt. Like, I don't know, you're a weirdo. You got some sort of weird mouth obsession. And even like these back teeth back here, I've said it so many times on the stream, but I'm sure it's all overkill. Like, realistically, nobody's gonna see anything but these first 4 teeth. But I just care about my art and have fun looking at references and sculpting things I haven't sculpted before. So might as well take the time to flesh out these dentures. And what's cool is I can use these again and again in future projects. Now I have this like really nice set of teeth that's already all combined. And like I was talking earlier, like animation, like I'd probably like sculpt the teeth individually and position them, but even like eventually with that, like at the end of that process, I would Boolean everything together. So there is like a chance I could use this for animated characters. I can definitely use it as like a base down the line. Maybe I will just kind of mask out like the bottoms of the teeth to at least just make sure I have lots of coverage, give myself some wiggle room to make sure I'm not influencing parts that I don't want to be. It looks like I took that mask a little bit too far up here. Either that or it's just the way the light's hitting this. Yeah, alright. So now I can go through and we can start to do this gum layer pass. And I can just, I'm just gonna build all this up with my clay brush first. And I might not even smooth it out, to be honest with you. Like I might keep this. Oh, actually, you know what? Oh no, I should have done this before I masked. we'll be alright. I'm just gonna do this and then remesh when I'm done and hope for the best. And I might, you'll see, I don't want to talk about it too much yet, but I might go ahead and, well, you'll just see. I'll just wait. I'll just wait a second. I was gonna say I might go ahead and duplicate this and project, which if you've seen my other streams, you've definitely like seen me do that part before. That's masked out a little bit too much. Let me just knock that mask back so it's like perfectly cradling the teeth. Yeah, that's very nice. That is very nice. So yeah, this would be something like that. I might be able to get away with remeshing and not projecting. We'll just have to see. I literally talked about remeshing one last time before I did this, and then I didn't do it, and then I masked out all the fucking teeth without remeshing first. I got carried away. So now I'm gonna grab my damn standard and just sort of carve out these roots like so, because they kind of curve up and around all of them. Something like that. I want to go all the way down to the tooth line. Something like that. Take it all the way down to the tooth line. Yup. Nice. So now, grab my move brush. Yep. And I can just pull these gums out over the teeth. And now it actually looks like they're sitting on top of the teeth, and the teeth are actually receding into them. This is definitely fucking up my geometry, so I'll for sure have to do a remesh after this. And it probably will be worth it to do like a project and remesh. Gotta make sure we keep it like curved. Yeah, like that. But, and this can be like, knock that down. Pull it down over like that. Yeah, and you can just see now it like really actually looks like those teeth are going up into those gums and sitting inside of them. It's just a nice little edge, a nice little pocket in there that it all recedes into. It's actually looking really cool. Yeah, that's actually looking really cool. That's exciting. Let me just see without a mask what it looks like. Yeah, look, that looks fucking awesome. I don't want to gas myself up too much, but like these teeth look good. These teeth look good. I'm doing a really good job with this. I don't want to hype myself up too much, but I'm crushing this shit right now. On a generational run with these teeth sculpting. That's so cocky, but I am happy. I am happy with how it's coming. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And this that tooth got shaped a little wonky. I don't know about it. I don't know about it. I don't know about it. Pull this over. Pull it down. close to the tooth. I might actually, this looks like it could be like inflated a little bit, huh? Just spending all this time on the parts people are never gonna see. Yeah, and just this back one too. And that, honestly, that should be like, that should be about it. So now, I am, just to be safe, gonna duplicate these and turn off everything except for the teeth. So I'm gonna go ahead, hit Alt S. I'm going to Z remesh it without adapting and see how it does. See if it ruins all that nice work I just did or not. Let me turn these off for a second. It looks like it did okay. That's crazy that this is somehow less squares than that. Like, what? Yeah, this is like 20,000 less quads, but they're way smaller. So how is that even, how does that even make sense? Where is that? I don't get it. That like actually makes my brain hurt. I don't understand how that's possible. That this is less quads than this. That's so freaky. I don't know. Oh, Luke Blocks. Hello, hello. Thank you for popping in, man. I appreciate you. My day is great. How is your day? My friend, I think I responded to you a little too late. I hope you're still watching. If you are, welcome to the stream, Luke Blocks. I appreciate the kind words. My day is good. I hope your day is good. Sorry it took me so long to see your comment. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna turn this back on and project all. And now I don't even think we need that projection. Actually, I think that's hurting us. So let me see. Turn these off. This is what we had before. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is before. This is after. And I'm gonna just reply to this directly. Thank you for the kind words. My day is great. I hope yours is also awesome. Fantastic. Fantastic. That gets a little gross and wonky. Oh, wait, that's where you can see the difference. Alright. Now, here's a question. Should I try to optimize this? Should I try to reduce the quad count? Let's, I don't think it'll really matter, because it's going to be 3D printed. But let's just see if I could get this to be a lower quad count without losing too much. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. And I think, honestly, here's what I'm gonna do. Let's see if we can go even lower than that. And I'm gonna see if I can get multiple subdiv layers. Yeah, alright, we're kind of starting to push it there. let's try it though. I'm gonna project onto this, project all, and then I'm gonna subdivide, Control D, pardon me, and then I will Alt S, project all again, and then I will, actually, are these about the same now? Oh, that might be all the subdividing I need to do. Maybe I smooth out right there just a little bit, just where all those teeth are going under. Yeah, I do think also, I think I can move this up and give those teeth a little bit better shape. Yeah, look at that. Smooth, looks like it got a little wonky up in there some places. So I just want to kind of try to smooth some of this out. I just don't want to get rid of that nice lip I went through all that trouble of making. Just really lightly smoothing it. That, yeah, you can see it got pretty much ruined up in there. But I can maybe do something like that and get it back out. And I even probably could like inflate this tooth a little bit. Perhaps. Maybe? I don't know, let's see. Let's just see. Before, after. Yeah, I'm happy with them. I'm happy with them, and they have subdiv levels in case I want to change them later, so they'll be easier to sculpt with. Looks like maybe down in this crevice too a little bit can be smoothed out and maybe re-sculpted ever so slightly. Yeah. Cool. Now I think I could come through and do an asymmetry pass on these, and I probably will. Just like grab my move brush and kind of jank up the teeth a little bit so they're not perfectly straight and symmetrical. But for now, this is pretty good. And I actually, oof. Before I do that, I might copy and paste these teeth into a different file and just like save that tool so I have this base tongue and mouth. For future sculpts. Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. I'm going to I'm gonna get rid of the original version. Yep, goodbye. And I'm gonna turn everything back on. And let's see here. Yeah, and I might just bring it down just a little bit. Something like that. Let me see. Let me look at my reference. No, I don't need to move the teeth. I need to move the lip. I pulled down that little crest of just a little teeny tiny bit too much. I think if I just push that up so I can see the gums. Yeah, that's like perfect. That is like perfect. right. Yeah, so we want to do the same thing to the bottom teeth. I might take a break from that to go ahead and do the tongue real quick. And the tongue, honestly, is like pretty easy. Let me I'm gonna pull up my reference. Yeah, it's just gonna be like a tapered, rounded cube that sits in there. It's really nothing too intense. So I'm probably gonna do that tongue, and then I might call the stream after that. This is a pretty good video, just sculpting teeth. That's really all we got done today. That's not true, actually. I did a lot of work on the lips and stuff too, but yeah, it's just a big mouth day. Just a big mouth day. And you can see I've spent, what, like 2.5 hours just working on this mouth today, so that's crazy. It's crazy. I'm going to also, it's been so long since I've saved. I'm gonna hit save next. And hit save again. Just make sure that did increment up. Yeah. Cool. And now, let me add a taper to this first and foremost. Well, let me scale it first, and then we can add a taper. I think the taper lets me do it, yeah, any direction. So just something like that. And then I can accept that faux show. Start to smooth it out. Hold down shift and just, oh, actually, before I do that, I'm going to turn on symmetry, which is just the letter X on the keyboard. Yeah, and that's more or less a tongue. You can see that was, I had a subdiv layer, but, I mean, that's, that's really all it took. And it just kind of sits in there, right up against the teeth. Let me, make sure it's not doing anything crazy. It kind of bows a little bit, so it's actually like up above the teeth. Whoa. A little bit at the back. And I can solo this so we can see what that shape's doing. Yeah. It's kind of doing something like that. But then, yeah, resting right up against the yeah, I mean, and that's pretty much perfect. That's pretty much perfect. That's pretty much all we need to do with that. I can grab the back of this though, at least actually, and like, yeah, just like taper it down so I can fake it like it's actually going back down in the throat back there. We don't want that to be sticking up higher than the crest. So let's see what that looks like now that I fixed it. Yeah, now you can see it actually looks like it's curving back down into the mouth. Eyes are gonna be really wide open. So let me just kind of fake these eyelids for a second, just so I can get a better sense of the overall like pose in the whole face. I just want to make sure he looks angry and not scared. And I kind of think, just if I move, if I just make the shape of the eye socket and the eyebrows for sure just a little bit more up instead of down. Yeah. And maybe I'll smooth out that lip crease too a little bit. So, like what that's doing right now. Great, now that's looking really good. So alright, we got tongue, teeth. You know what? Oh, whoops. See that tongue sticking out a little bit back there. I can just build that up on the head a little bit. All this, what's essentially going to happen is I'm going to take a cylinder and just like shove it into the neck right there, and then all this is going to make a lot more sense. We still, one thing we don't really have, we'd still want a pretty intense moment where that jaw unhinges. Like we want a really sharp angle up towards, although that does unhinge. Yeah, I think kind of more like that than what I had before. And that chin needs shaped a lot. Like a lot. So maybe I'll go do that real quick while I'm talking about it, thinking about it. Just kind of make that bone a little bit sharper. Yeah. I mean, we would have epiglottis, but I'll worry about all that once I actually get the neck down in there. Once I actually get the neck down in there. Oh, the almighty Chad Thundercock has arrived. You'll notice I'm no longer making that dog piss on the floor. Now we animating some scary shit. I'll show you. Now we working on some scary shit, some horror movie shit. It's demonic ass nun. Just building ahead to put on top of the rest of the model. And I'm not gonna lie, you caught me more or less at the end of my stream. But I could go in, fix these teeth real quick, why not? Why the fuck not? How you doing today, Sir Thundercock? How's life treating you? Still alive, not on fire? Things could be worse? He does well, that's what's up. He said, bitch, I'm thriving. Not only am I not on fire, I'm thriving. Alright, I'm gonna solo this shit. So all I really need to do with these to get them where I want them to be is the same thing I did on those top teeth. Go through first, and actually, you know what, I'm gonna remesh. Fire is not on me, I'm on fire. Fire should fear you. Chad, fire should fear you. Fire, wind, lightning, they all balk. Tremble before the might of Sir Sergeant Major General Sir Chad Thundercock, first of his name. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck around and Z remesh this before I do anything else. Just see what that looks like. Didn't really help me. It kind of hurts me, if anything. That was a terrible Z remesh. The fuck? Yeah, I don't need it. I don't need that, I've decided. I don't want it. So all I need to do to start is double check the the spacing and shit between the teeth. And there, you know, they're pretty good. I think this one looks a little fucked up. So we can carve that out a little bit more. And then I'll have to pinch these back together. So there's barely any spacing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that'll work. Fucking same thing over here. Although this one, I might not even need to carve it. I can probably just pinch it together. Smooth out these teeth. Maybe try to dig it out a little bit more before I start doing the gum shit. Maybe just a little bit more. Perhaps. Chad, let me know if you got any questions about game design, animation, or anything else I've got going on in my life. And if not, I don't care. That's cool too. I just appreciate you popping by. So, I can probably push that way harder actually. Ah! Do what I want, you bastard. Come on now. Bethesda's the worst gun designer. What you playing? I'm a big Bethesda guy. You know who does some of my favorite gun designs is Borderlands. Borderlands does some crazy ass guns. You must be playing Fallout, that'd be my guess. Guns look cool but would not function. I mean, same with Borderlands. Let's be honest. I'll have to pay attention. I'll have to look at Bethesda's guns. I haven't really thought about it. And I, without losing too much of my audience, hopefully, must say, let me put it this way, I was raised in Wyoming, and I know for how much of a dirty hippie douchebag I might look like these days, I know a very surprising amount about firearms and how they're like assembled and function. So I'll have to see what's up with those Bethesda guns. Fortnite, I get rocked so hard on Fortnite. I'll watch my friends play Fortnite sometimes, but I can, every now and then, very rarely, I might catch a pretty good round. Oh, I gotta fucking mask this stuff. What am I doing? Every now and then I might catch a pretty good round of Call of Duty that isn't like completely pathetic, but Fortnite, never. Fortnite, never, unless I have the craziest carry ever on my team. Unless I have the craziest character ever on my team, I get smacked the fuck up in Fortnite. Oh, I like Helldivers. I like Helldivers a lot, man. Maybe I'll have to check it out. We got, if you're just joining in, show you what I'm working towards. Oh, homeboy hopped off on YouTube too. Kind of forgot about him. It's not that good either. You said Helldivers ain't that good either? Ooh, I think I gotta double check my music. You're pretty good on Helldivers? I was okay at Helldivers. I had fun on Helldivers for sure. Haven't played it in a couple months, so I don't really know where things are at these days, but me and my friends got pretty cracked out on Helldivers for like 2 months. Gotta catch that grinder typo. Make no mistake. Yeah, 12 to 34 is crazy. That's a pretty far jump. I don't even remember where I left off in Helldivers level-wise. I think I was like 20, like mid-20s. In Fortnite, I'm dog water. I won't even open that app. I don't even care about that game. Oh, Brenna, hello, hello. Thank you for joining in, throwing a like. We're working on something way different today. I'll show you what we're working towards today. Way different than that little dog animation I've been working on. Got some sketty sheep. Wow. Should speak right to your Catholic heart, Brenna. Thank you. That's pretty fun. Did it for the mechs, not for the bragging rights. Oh, I feel that. That's why I did all my leveling up on Helldivers. All the really fun shit was the high levels. Laughing at my Catholic joke, Brenna. Thank you. Lots of demonic nuns back at St. Mary's, you know. You know. Alright, just focus on finishing up these teeth. Oh, Chad's in it for the aesthetic. I see you. I see you. He said, fuck the gameplay. I'm here for the vibes. Ah! Gotta get my brush the right size. God dang. Oh shit. I forgot to. I gotta make sure I'm not violating copyright real quick. Make sure this is still somebody I have permission from to use their music. This is still Element. Alright. Okay, Element. If anyone's getting in trouble for the Mac Miller sounds, dang me. Alright. Svitzel, Mansell, Snoop Dogg. Gotta look good to slay these clankers. Never heard them called clankers before. I'm not gonna lie either, those robots always used to fuck me up. I did way better against the bugs. Maybe the bugs are just easier. But what's Super Hell Dive? What the what? That's just like the hardest, like, oh yeah, oh I never, yeah, no I didn't do that. You won against the bots or the bugs on Super Hell Dive? That's actually crazy. That's actually nuts. That is... I actually find that impressive. Oh, dogs. Please. Please don't do that. Please don't blow out my viewers' ears. That'd be sweet. Pumped full of democracy and stems. The freedom to die at the very least. The freedom to die for your country. Hoorah. Boy howdy. I think most wars in real life are also fought pumped full of stimulants. Yeah, that was one of the frustrating things for me playing playing that game is I joined like after all my boys had been at it for a while, and they all had all this like crazy shit that you pretty much had to have to kill the big stuff, and I didn't have any of it. So it was a lot of just like, it's just a lot of running loops, letting the boys take care of business. This, man, this is not masked very well. I need to fix this. Is there like, what's your like strategy when you're playing at that level? Is it a lot of just like running and gunning, just like pop a few shots and get the fuck out of there, and like try to like loop enemies up? Or yeah, I got stomped the fuck out by some big old bots more than once for sure. Oh, that's the middle. Alright, smooth it back out a little bit. Kind of need some higher subdivs. My only strategy is use explosives. Let's go. The strategy is a boom. Big boom. And have high level friends. Yeah, that helps. Yeah, that helps. I should get back into Helldivers. That shit was fun. That shit was pretty fun. You ever stream your games or anything? I would definitely pull it up every now and then. Nah, that's fair. I always try to talk my little brother into streaming, because he's just like way good at video games. And he's just like, my computer will explode. I don't have the PC for that, Toby. That is true, and we appreciate it a ton, man. Like, more than you know. It can get pretty crushing just streaming to 0 people all the time. So it's pretty fun when people come on and talk and ask questions and engage. We fuck with it. We appreciate the support for sure. There's also, like, I've heard my brother talk about, like, I don't know, he like video games are his favorite thing, and streaming might like suck the joy out of it. Whereas like the shit I stream, just like the art making stuff, it's really, really easy for me to do this and stream and not have like the joy sucked out of it. For me, it's like I'm just doing this shit anyways, I might as well pop it up. Might as well be streaming. I'm gonna be doing it anyways. And for this stuff, like, it's all, I stream on YouTube and shit, so it all gets archived. And it helps me with my future projects too. If I'm ever doing something and I'm like, oh, I remember doing something similar on this old project. How the fuck did I do that? Alright, I think it's time to duplicate and project again. So I'm gonna make a, well, first off, let's give these a name that actually makes sense. What are we doing? I see a Sfizzle Manizzle Snoop Dogg. Wow, I did not understand what that name said until I started reading it out loud. Definitely not the best username for my white ass to read. You got me. You got me, Snoop Dogg. Thought I was reading like a freaking like Danish name or something, and then the words were coming out of my mouth. That was funny. Let me know if you got any questions, bro. Let me know if you got any questions about the stream. Please don't try to bait me into saying slurs live. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know why everybody be doing that with their usernames. Shit is nuts. Shit is unbelievable. Alright. Cool. We good. Oh, if this autosave makes me crash out. Whew. Nah, we good. This god. What the fuck happened there? Oh, sorry, Lulu. Did it scare you when I said what the fuck? Got my dog chilling at my feet. Oh, you dropping the likes, dude. Thank you. Carrying the team again. I think I was at like 4 before you hopped in. Now I'm at 400. My hero, man. My hero. Alright, let's let me see here. I think I do need to remesh this. Duplicate. First, Z remesh it. See what we get it to look like. Oh yeah, that's a lot nicer. And honestly, I might see what adapting looks like. Just because some of that got pretty bad. Yep, nope, I don't like it. I liked it more without it. Snoop Dogg, let me know if you got any questions about animation, game dev, life, anything. What I do for work that allows me to sit at home on TikTok live. I'm actually out on workers comp. That's the secret. I actually got hurt on the job. And I'm just streaming until workers comp gets me an MRI. Cause what else is a fella to do? Trying to take advantage of this time I have stranded at home. I don't know why it's screwing up that geometry so much. Just really doesn't want to make it very nice. I'm just gonna mask that out and pull it back over again. Just got really bad. 1K, you are the best. You are consistently the most supportive follower to pop on, man. I appreciate it. Absolute legend in these streets. A hero to small streamers everywhere. This guy. Yeah, that's a nice little gum line. Well, please you do, my friend. I appreciate it. And your username is fucking hilarious. It makes me laugh every time I see it pop up. Just good vibes, this guy. Just a dude who gets it. Alright. Let's see what that looks like in the nasty ass mouth. Oh, actually we can let's compare and contrast. Old, new, look at that. Get rid of those gross looking, shitty, janky old ones. Delete it. Goodbye, sayonara. Get the fuck out of here. Now, turn everything back on. Yeah, that's looking really cool. That's about done for basic forms too, to be honest. It looks like I over sculpted that eyebrow a little bit. I could maybe smooth that out so it's not quite so prominent. Although it is nice to have it be kind of dramatic. Go ahead and sculpt that back out a little bit. Alright, this sounds like straight up Chance the Rapper. This has to be copyright. Oh, some Element remix. Alright. Alright. There's a car in Helldivers now? What the fuck? I don't think there was a car when I was last playing. Oh yeah, this is definitely a remix. This is really Element. This is crazy. Okay, Ian. Alright, Ian, what the fuck? The crazy Chance the Rapper remix? I probably shouldn't turn it up that loud. I just got excited. I get excited for my friends. I can't believe he made this song. It's like 27,000 likes? It's like your biggest song. Wild. Ah, where'd everything go? Just kidding. But YouTube watchers, if this ever happens to you, just hit the letter F. It'll bring everything back. Great. Space for 5. That's crazy. Oh, a gun on the back. That's so sick. Ah, you're making me wanna re-download that game into my PC. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. I might want to remesh this face before I start doing a detail pass on it. I don't know, actually. Nah, this thing is sweet. Just the flow right there is pretty bad. That little star, like that's a really terrible place for a star, but I think I can just like subdivide this up. Yeah, now it lets me at least like behave the way I need it to. Oh yeah, we're not even at 1,000,000 quads yet. Yeah. I'm not gonna worry about duplicating or remeshing this face. I think it's already gonna work for me. Alright. 20 throwing knives. Did the knives even like do shit against the bots? Or is that pretty much like just for bugs? Damn, the low poly edge flow actually isn't horrible. This star is really bad, but like this nose is like already almost doing what I would have it do on a retopo. Not quite, but eyes aren't great either. But that's a pretty good place for a star on the cheek. It's not bad.
Welcome present Prowl 9PG.
Oh. We got spam on Twitch. Get out of here. Fuck out of here. The Twitch spam. I think maybe the one last shape on this face that needs to get dramatized before I start sculpting in details are gonna be these cheekbones. They just kind of disappear right now. They're not really there at all. Let me, I'm just gonna kind of hollow out the face a little bit. Actually, the best way to kind of look at that is to look at the 3/4 view. And yeah, that cheek can come out like that. Yep, 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 yep. And the brow actually also can get way more dramatic. So I probably shouldn't have undone all that earlier, but that's alright. Yeah, that 3/4 view is a really good way to check the eye socket shape. Yeah. And actually this might need to come back a little bit more. Wrap around the head a little bit more. Let's look at that 3/4 again. I might even just yank this, grab it and yank it out. It's hard because that nose is so intense. Yeah, that's way better. Kind of carve out between the eyebrow again. Oops. Nice. That's still more or less the right angle, I think. That can come out, make a little bit more of a shelf at the bottom there. Yeah. And then next stream I can actually start worrying about face muscles and details, and or I'll do hair. Or I'll do the hair next time. But yeah, today I really fixed up the mouth, finished the teeth, did the tongue, fixed the jaw, and then did some other minor little stuff around the face. That's pretty good. I'm coming up on 3 hours. So I'm probably gonna call this a stream. Chat Thundercock, thank you again, man, so much for popping on by. SM Snoop Dogg, appreciate you too. Appreciate you popping in and watching for a long time, even though you didn't say nothing. Appreciate you being here. Peace out, man. Good luck slaying, killing, fucking shit up out there. You got this. Everybody else, peace, love, gratitude. Y'all take care. Take it easy. I'm hopping out.